Hello and welcome to Lewisburg Live. This is our third edition, and we hope you're enjoying these programs. Hopefully you're getting some information. If you have any questions, as we always say, Darren Waldo is who you need to email, darren.waldo@logan.kyschools.us, and we will answer all your questions. We'll stay as long as we need to in order to answer those questions. We had a great day today. Had several open houses, drive-through. It wasn't exactly what we wanted. We wanted to do a drive-in, but because of logistics, we ended up doing a drive-through. It worked out great. We live streamed the presentation, so it was really good. The threat of rain made us kind of speed up the middle school, so I apologize to the middle school parents and students. We were having to kind of speed through that a little fast, but we were worried about the rain and the thunderstorm. But overall, I thought it went really, really well. Answered a lot of questions, got some information. I do want everyone to understand these first 8 days are really about us getting to know the technology, getting to know the students, building that relationship, making them feel comfortable. So please don't worry as much about what's to turn in and what's due on Sunday and those kind of things. That's not our main focus right now. Our main focus is building that relationship with the students, and we're going to do that over the next 8 days. We've got plenty of time. We're going to get to the curriculum. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes of it all. We're going to work hard, and we're going to learn this year, but we're going to start out by getting to know that student, and I think that's the way it should be done. Tonight, we've got a very special guest. The main man, the boss, is here, and Mr. Paul Mullins. So welcome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invite, and it's always great to be back in a community that is near and dear to my heart. So glad to be back up here in Lewisburg today. It's a great day across Logan County Schools, first day for students virtually. The one thing that I would echo what Dr. Matthews said is be patient with us, and when we'll be patient with you. We've got some things we have to work through. We know that. Last year, remember when it happened in the spring, we already had people had our Chromebooks, we had logins, we had our programs, and we've been doing it since August. So today, we're going to have some hiccups, and we know that, and we're here to help you all, and we do appreciate you all helping us as well.
Yeah, and I've got to do a little family business before we get to our chat. I told my son, AJ, is watching, and he wanted me to say the last time I was on TV, he said, you never say anything about me. He's very disappointed. So AJ's first day of preschool was today. Got a great report. He met a friend named Sam, not the same Sam as was in the summer, and Sam likes rock and roll and red rocks. So, I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Well, you know, AJ's the man. And AJ, you're looking out here, make sure Dad's going to take you out for some ice cream tonight.
Absolutely. So you're back in your old stomping grounds. Lewisburg is where you started as principal, correct?
It was my first principal's job. I followed Mr. Dooley here in 2000 and had 4 really great years here with a great community and just great students and staff, and this has always felt like home. So it was great when I came back. The first job I got to do was to come back to this school and hire a new principal. And we're blessed to have Dr. Matthews in that position, and Miss Lucas and the other council members made a wise choice.
Well, I appreciate that. I tell you, I always say that I'm the luckiest guy in the world. This is the best job. You've been in this job, so you understand how great being principal at Lewisburg is, and it's just the best job in the world. I got a great staff, and it's not just because you're sitting here, but we've got a great central office, a great superintendent that's very supportive. So we're very, very lucky in Logan County. Now, I know that you have had some decisions to make, and so we'll
just 1 or 2.
Yeah. So I know that there was a long process. And the governor, so just take us through. So the governor announces that really doesn't mandate, he makes a recommendation.
Right. Before I get into that, just let me say this too. We're blessed in Logan County to have an incredible career and technical center, an outstanding high school, and 5 K-8s that are just amazing. We're blessed in our community to have great schools across our district, and each community loves their students, and they love their school, and they love their staff, and for that we're really blessed in Logan County. I wanted to get that out. Getting back to that particular decision, a couple weeks ago, I guess it's probably 3 weeks ago now, the governor came out and made a recommendation that schools remain closed, I think, until September the 28th, and no in-person classes until then. And to let you know where we were for probably 3 days after that, a governor's recommendation, when he gets his information from Dr. Stack and from the CDC and from public health, is really more than a recommendation. It is really almost a mandate. Even though it's not said that way, that's really how it's interpreted legally. So we were planning just to go straight to virtual, which is what we started today, with no in-person classes until after September 28th. But what we found out as the week went on was that there was some wiggle in that, and we could potentially have students in before September 28th. So as we began to explore that, I've talked to other superintendents around us. We began examining the options. Our positivity rates from the White House, from President Trump, they were up, but we know we wanted to start school. So we landed on a hybrid, and I understand this, and I want to say this to parents and to teachers that are watching. I understand the hybrid can pose problems and challenges, and I respect that. That is one of the reasons we didn't go with that at first, because we knew that was there. That was an opportunity. That's what could happen. It would cause some stress, undue stress. But with the numbers up and the way things were looking, we believe, with Logan County being dark red and a 10% positivity rate, we believed that getting students in the classroom, which now is going to be probably 8 to 12 in a classroom with a teacher, that makes a much safer environment for our students and for our staff. But it also gives Dr. Matthews and Ms. Lucas and all the staff the opportunity to show our students how to operate in a COVID world. We can teach the procedures. It's a lot easier teaching how to walk in the hallway with half the number or a third of the number of kids. And so we believe, looking at that, that was probably the best option, to do that up to fall break, and then after fall break, go back to either all live and virtual, whatever you all parents have chosen to do, which was about a 70-30 split across the district.
Well, and I had an opportunity to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes of how that decision went. And this wasn't a decision made lightly. Absolutely. And it was not a decision that was made overnight with just talking to one or two people. It wasn't just one statistic. If you could just take the people in, because I know you really, you kind of lingered a little bit on how much onus you were putting on if we went hybrid, how much the parents, how a struggle it is for childcare and those things. So just take us inside a little bit on kind of all the meetings that you had and your thought process.
Well, from the moment, I think we saw something coming from the governor's office the week before, and so kind of prepared for that, not knowing what it would be. It was constant communication with 43 other superintendents from GREC. It was also even more communication with folks that are around us, whether it be Muhlenberg County or whether it be Todd County or whether it be Russellville Independent or Simpson County, constant conversations with them. I'm going to tell you, it's probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make, because we all want our students back. We want them all back. We want everybody back, and we want things back to normal. But we also want things we want it to be safe as possible. So to try to strike that balance, and in hopes that we can come back fully after the 3 weeks of hybrid, that was where we landed. But what I will tell you, Dr. Matthews is right. I stressed to some degree over this decision, because I want all our students to be safe, and I want our staff to be safe. I want us to get back to some sort of normalcy, so you can read from the doctors that say they need to be back because of mental health, and then you hear from the doctors that say the numbers are too high, and then we have to find a place to land. And I've got to commend our Board of Education, who who had resolve and had a belief that we needed to be back in school if at all possible, and I appreciated their support upon my recommendation to begin hybrid. But Dr. Matthews, what I guess the biggest thing is that we all care about each other, and we care about our students, and we care about our community, and that makes the decision even tougher because we want them here, but we want them safe. And what's the right answer? And the challenge, in my opinion, is the fact that the data that we have is kind of inconsistent as far as, and not that one piece of data should put us in school or out of school, but it would be nice to have more concise data, and I think that's in the works now, but it is tough to make a decision when you don't have numbers.
Yeah, and so we sort of started leaning towards this hybrid model.
Yep.
And I think what is also important is for parents to understand the way you deliver hybrid education, the way you deliver virtual education, and the way you deliver all in-person education is really very different.
All three are different.
And all three are very different. And so our teachers and our staff are everything from food service to special ed to the teachers on the ground. Everybody was really struggling and working. They're just working very hard to get all, because you're basically planning for all three things.
Yes, and we always knew that a hybrid kind of in our back pocket was maybe a last option. I thought at some point maybe the governor might limit the capacity we have in the buildings of students, so we knew we had to have that in our back pocket. But we had gotten to the point where we were, 2.5 weeks away from the beginning of school. We thought, and I thought, just like all the parents are listening, I thought we would either have two choices. I thought, number one, we would have the 70-30 split of those in person and those are virtual, or I thought that we could be shut down and were mandated not to have school. But we got so close to it that I explained the process to you a few minutes ago, but the biggest thing was we got to it, and hats off to our teachers and our staff. Our administrative team got together over the weekend as we began to formulate what a hybrid schedule may look like. And Dr. Matthews is right, because it's a big shift for our staff across our district, and it's not something it's not easy for them. I believe me, I understand it's not easy for parents, and I want to say I appreciate those who've reached out and said, hey, I know you've got a tough decision to make. We appreciate that you've made it, and we'll make the best of it. And we'll do our best to get everybody face-to-face in school as quick as we can, but we want to do it as safe as we can as well.
Well, and I think one thing that I really appreciate all of our guidance counselors and our attendance clerks and all the people that got together, and I've heard a lot of parents that have said, we didn't just do it like some other districts where we said, okay, at a certain letter, those people are A's and you are B. We actually really went to work and tried to keep those families together in those units so that at least it would make it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. That was, I thought, for us to ask our parents to do a hybrid, that we owed it to them, that if they have children in multiple schools, that they're going on the same days, because that's what is only right and fair and best. So I know that was a lot of extra work on certified and classified staff across our district, and I hope that I just want to say thank you to the folks that made that happen, because it's been a big deal to make it happen.
Well, and we've had a lot of questions on food service. So, we know that the grant, we talked about it last time, the grants run out, and so now we have to sign up and show ID and do those things. But certainly our parents that have chosen to do the hybrid, our virtual parents as well, they would they're concerned about the food service and want to make sure they're going to get their meals.
Absolutely, and I think that I think it was recently just signed on that they've extended that through the end of September.
Okay.
The end of September. So it's one of those things, and education should never be political, but sometimes it is. This is one of those things that got pushed through, which allows the way we serve meals. It makes it gives us more flexibility, which it goes through the USDA when the National Food Lunch Program is what we typically go through during the school calendar year. So what we hope for and what we need to do is to continue to have the USDA rules and the summer feeding program rules. That's what we would like to continue. Just spoke with Jamie Fair, who, by the way, look, guys, 600,000 meals since March the 12th served our students in our community. What an amazing number. And that is cooks, bus drivers, family resource, volunteers, teachers, administrators. So many people chipped in to make this happen, and I think it's an amazing number, an amazing feat. So let me get to the point on this. We're going to be feeding the students that are on virtual. We're going to feed the students that are on a hybrid, and we're going to feed the students that are here every other day. And the day they're not here or the day they're here, they're going to be fed. Jamie will be getting that information out. I think she already has gotten some of it out. And the biggest thing I think we need is when that information goes out, and it very well could have already went out, we need people to sign up. We need the people to sign up so we know who's getting food, and allows us, once again, we need data to be able to make that happen. We're going to make it happen, but we need the data.
Absolutely. The other concern that we hear a lot, and you may or may not want to comment on it. I know you've been working very hard. We talked about it last time. There's some deals in the works and those kind of things, but we're trying to get internet to everybody. And I know the governor has sent out some recommendations today and some things he's working on. Can you elaborate on any of that kind of stuff in terms of us getting internet?
I can do my best to elaborate. At this point, I know the district has purchased 100 mobile hotspots. For that mobile hotspot to work, you're going to have a bluegrass a cellular connection that's going to be at a speed high enough that could upload or download a YouTube video. Okay, so that's going to knock some folks out, unfortunately. We've got a lot of hotspots. And I know that's can be inconvenient, but also hopefully we can get a lot of folks served through that. What I'll say about that is we're going to work very hard to make sure we get those 100, and if we have to order additional, we'll order more. It's a $20 a month program. We're working on scholarships at this point to see if it would pay the full amount or half the amount. That information should come out soon. But the units they're not in yet. So if you're one of those people that are going to qualify or going to need that, those units should be in any day. And when they get in, we'll run out. Once we get the information from Family Resource, we will run out, our tech folks will run out and make sure if you have a signal, and if you have a signal, we'll give you the details of the program.
And that really is going to, if they have question or whatever, that just needs to go through Family Resource. Is that how we're doing it?
I would think so, yes. And, like everything else, we have limited resources, but we want to take the resources that we do have and help as many people as we can. I'm concerned that a lot of folks will need it, and then we get their house and there won't be any internet service, and that very well could happen. That's another thing that I personally have been working on a little bit. I have spoken 3 times to Senator McConnell's office about this, and I've also spoken probably 4 times to Congressman Comer about the need for rural internet really across the entire Commonwealth. But I'm definitely going to tell you, in our area we have large gaps, and what happens is it's not cost, they can't make money, so they don't want to go out to an area where we're sparsely populated or where there's large farming areas to run and drop lines. They can't make money. So I've tried to convey to those folks that I believe that in 2020, internet capabilities or access to internet is like water, it's like electricity, it's like any other
basic need
that we have today. Thank you. And so we've been in contact with them. So if you see those folks or ever communicate with them at a town hall, I would ask you to please reach out and ask them. We need expanded internet across the Commonwealth.
So let's take a moment and try to go to some questions and see what we have in our old question bank.
Our first question is, if we signed our child up for in-person classes, will they be able to have access to a teacher during the duration of online learning, or is this the only available, or is it only available for Virtual Academy?
Okay, so they're asking if
They signed up for in-person. They're wondering if they'll be able to have an access to a teacher during our extended out-of-school learning, or is that only an option for Virtual Academy students?
Well, we have we have a couple of things where we're making sure that our extended out-of-school students are being supported by teachers. First of all, our teachers have office hours. You can call between 8 and 3. We've got teachers here, and as long as they are not with a learning community, they'll be more than happy to help and answer questions and those kind of things. We are also offering what we're calling learning communities for our extended out-of-school learning students who are in-person students. And they're going to come once a week, and they're going to spend 2 hours with us. And so they're going to be with teachers. They're going to receive some intervention, some tutoring, all of those kind of things so that we can keep them on track. We'll have contact with them. We'll be able to teach some new learning. All of that kind of stuff are things that we're doing a little different than we've done in the past so that we can support that student. So that was a long answer to say that, yes, they have access to a teacher just like the Virtual Academy.
I'd add to that, Mr. Dr. Matthews, is that I want to point out to folks that are watching, because we know people not just from Lewisburg but from across the county are watching, and what I'd like to add is this. Our goal, and we started working on all of this back in I guess April, early May. We started, it was probably it was late May. Started working on what this was going to look like. But the first thing we said was we got to do everything in our power not to let it be like it was in the spring. And that's been our goal. So that's why I say we're going to have some hiccups, because we're not necessarily doing everything like we did in the spring. But what we're trying to do is to make it better across all of our schools, and in Lewisburg and all the schools. We're trying to make it better. And my hat's off to our teachers, our aides, our district administrative team, and our school leadership team at the school level, and anyone I may have missed there, and family resources. They were at a lot of our meetings as well. Everybody that helped make this different this fall. Yeah, we knew that we had to make it different. We knew it, but we didn't really know what it was going to be. So every school may look a little different, but that's been our goal.
Well, and really, I think it's important for our public to know too. When you came 4 years ago, going on 5 now, where you're at, but we're starting 5th year, right?
Absolutely.
So you came 4 years ago, and you really brought a mentality of project-based learning, authentic learning. And you've done a lot of trainings for the staff, for the administrators, going towards this goal. That's really kind of how we need to do things moving forward in a virtual world.
Absolutely. The one thing we knew was the world was changing underneath our feet a lot faster than maybe we were changing, not just Logan County, but everywhere in general. So we knew that project-based learning, engaging students, with various activities. I've always said our teachers are our greatest resource. So we have really worked hard, hats off to Contessa Orr and her staff, on making sure that our teachers are given the tools to best serve our students. We know that a one-size-fits-all really fits nobody, and you end up doing the same thing and ending up with the same gaps we had 20 years ago. So we knew that each school would look a little different, but we also knew that each school needed to embrace some change at their own pace, but that things were changing. And I think we saw that this spring, that things were changing. And I'd also like to say, Dr. Matthews, thanks to Tyler Davenport and the our tech team, and for Danny Harris, who always makes everything happen for us, for making sure that we've got all new infrastructure in all our buildings when it comes to wiring. All our parking lots in our schools are hot spots, and we've went from little under 100 Chromebooks to over 3,000 Chromebooks in the last 4 years, and hats off to everybody for making that happen.
Well, just here in Lewisburg, when I started 4 years ago, we had 38 Chromebooks, and now we're 1-to-1 throughout. So it's been really good in terms of that as well.
And just the opportunities that our teachers have had through the University of Kentucky Next Gen, or through project-based learning with Drew Perkins, and those type of activities, just the learning nights were so special, where they got to show what they're passionate about, and we've got to find a way to embrace students in a way that we meet them where they're at.
That's right.
And just take them and just let them explore and become. Let them grow into their potential and not into a standardized test.
Well, just being able to teach the curriculum through solving real world problems engages that student. It's more fun for the teacher, and I think there's a deeper level of learning, and I think that's been proven.
Absolutely. Think of our last 5 months of our life.
That's right.
I mean, there's nothing standardized about it. We've had to problem solve. We've had to critically think. We've had to just figure it out, right?
That's right.
And those are the type of skills that our factories and our businesses, and you know what, even our schools, Dr. Matthews, I see now where Western is changing their admission standards.
Right.
So the world is changing under our feet, and we are blessed. I visit all the schools. I missed almost all the schools today. I'll finish that up tomorrow, and I'll tell you this, man, there are some really exciting and cool things going on across our district.
I'm going to tell you, I met with all my teachers Thursday, and they were showing me, part of that meeting was they had to show me exactly what was going to happen with the hybrid, and some of the things that they have come up with, and some of the things they have done. And I've got to give a big shout out, because she's standing back here behind the camera, to Bobby Miller, who is our technology integration teacher, and she has brought so much of that technology into our classrooms and helped our teachers. Absolutely. And it's fantastic. It's unbelievable, some of the things that they've come up with. Our kids are going to be so excited with it. I really do believe that. I
believe that as well. And you pioneered that up here with Bobby Miller, and now the district has been able to add 2 positions to do similar things to help our teachers across the district. So Dr. Matthews did it up here. We watched and saw that what Bobby Miller was doing was so good that we needed to replicate that across the district. Yeah,
it's been really fantastic. I want to say, you mentioned Tyler. I know that Tyler sent out today to all the parents across the district a link. So if you're having trouble connecting to the internet, or you're having any kind of tech issue, he sent out this link. Use the link, and I promise you there's going to be a tech that'll get back with you ASAP and help you get connected. I think that's just fantastic, because that was one of the things last year that we really struggled with at times. We were having tech issues, and you said things are going to change, and that's a perfect example of making it a little easier.
Absolutely, and I know how it is. We all can get frustrated, and things can get tough, and you get frustrated, you can't log in, or you have this issue. We understand that. We do apologize up front, but we understand that's going to happen. I'll promise you this, guys. Reach out to us through that Google form that Tyler Davenport sent out, or reach out if you have to. If you don't have that, reach out to your principal, or reach out to someone. Reach out to me, and I'll get it to who needs it. I'll promise you, we're not going to see it on social media. We're just not, but we'll see it on Google. We'll see it on, if you email us, we'll see it there to help you. We don't have enough time in the day to go check those other places, but if you get it to us, we'll do our best to help you out.
And here at Lewisburg, if you know, we encourage you to use a link that will come back to us. Bobby Miller or one of the techs, Amy, that works here, they'll get back in touch with you. But you know, if you call our school, we're going to get you in touch with Bobby Miller, and we're here to help. We understand there's a level of frustration. We understand technology can be very frustrating at times. So we're here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we want to be part of that solution. All right, let's kick it back over to my good friend Christy Lucas over here on the microphone. Throw me a question.
I'm going to do some of the tech ones since Ms. Miller is still with us.
Okay, yes.
Regarding the Lewisburg School login help page, what if this is the first time we have used this? How do we figure out what our child's school email is?
All right, so Miss Miller, do you want to go over to that microphone? Miss Miller said, I will answer questions as long as I don't have to be on camera. So she's going to do a behind-the-scenes voiceover.
Okay, all of the teachers in kindergarten, first and second were given the email addresses and the new passwords for the students. So if you were at our open house, you should have gotten one of those from the teacher. Also, if you weren't, the teachers have already got plans on how to get that information to their students. We're also using a new web app called Clever, which will give those K1 and 2 students that haven't logged in before an easy access with a QR code badge that's going to be very easy for them to scan in front of the camera, and it'll log them into anything they need then.
Yeah, we need a big thank you to Tyler and the district for getting Clever and getting these badges that are really going to help our youngers. But really, we can even print off badges for the older kids that's going to help them get logged in. So it's been a really fantastic thing. If you cannot get logged in and you don't know, send your teacher an email, but also CC Bobby Miller, and so that she has that as well. And I promise you, either your teacher or Bobby Miller will get back with you, and we'll get you logged on.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Absolutely.
And, make sure you have an answer to it.
Even if we have to do a home visit, I promise you, we will get you logged on. All right.
If I miss both days to check out a Chromebook, would I still be able to check one out? Would I have to call and set up an appointment to check it out?
No, we're fine. We want to get the Chromebooks out to the ones who need it. The best thing for you to do would be to come between 8 and 3, and we probably call the front office. If you'll park, call the front office, let us know you're there and what you're there for, because we're just trying to limit the number of people in the building and that stuff. Then, and tell us the student's name. Then we can get the Chromebook stuff ready for you. We'll get the contracts. We'll bring it out to you. We'll get you the Chromebook.
That's all of it for right now, Miss Miller. But
all
maybe
right.
we'll just call you if we get any more.
That's right.
Put you on speakerphone. How's that?
Phone a friend.
That's right.
Nope.
All right.
I'm gonna call you.
Miss Miller, it's been a long day for you, so she's headed home. All right. Thank you very much for staying.
My granddaughter will start kindergarten this year, all virtual. She attended preschool the last 2 years. She's diagnosed with autism and has an IEP. I saw she will have a special education teacher. Regular virtual will have another teacher, and then in person another teacher. Will my granddaughter fall behind because she is in special ed? She's very bright academically, and I just want her to stay caught up with the other children.
No, absolutely, she will not fall behind. We have curriculum set out. She's going to be doing regular ed work as well as getting the accommodations and getting the modifications from the special ed teacher. Our special ed teachers are working with both our virtual students and our in-person students. But I can promise you the Virtual Academy, that curriculum and what we're doing there is going to be the same kind of stuff that we do in person. May not be the exact program, we might not be at exactly the same spot, but we are dealing with Kentucky academic standards, and it's all the same type of curriculum. And our special education teachers, whether they have students in person or virtually, are servicing those students. So your granddaughter is going to I promise you, she's going to get the support that she needs. Our special ed teachers are talking about doing home visits, and I'm sure you've probably already gotten a phone call. And so there's going to be, and there's opportunities even for the Virtual Academy. We call those learning pods, and I know that our special ed teachers are setting up those learning pods so that they can actually have contact, that 2 hours worth of contact, and be able to help and grow them. So there's going to be a lot of support for our special education population, and they're going to receive all their services, and I can promise you they're not going to fall behind.
And I'll add a couple things there across the district as well as at Lewisburg that the Kentucky Department of Education is allowing us to bring in 15% of our students. So even if a student is virtual, and that's what they've chosen, if they can come in at some point and the school and the parents can make that happen, we'll allow them to come into the school, work, and a small group, might just be your granddaughter, or it could be a group of students, could come in and work with the teacher face to face. I also know that schools are going to do some Saturday school as well, because we know I ask schools to do that. We understand that a lot of parents work Monday through Friday. If their students on virtual, they're trying to get through it Monday through Friday, but maybe there's a hitch on something, or maybe there's just something they need a little extra help on. We're going to offer some help on Saturdays at all of our schools to be able to provide support to parents.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we will be getting those Saturday school dates out. Some months it'll be 2 times in the month, sometimes it'll be 1, but we're going to get those out, and we're going to invite everybody. We've got our ESS teacher already lined up to teach those. I also got to give a shout out to Christy Lucas, who has been calling all of our virtual academy students. Now, if you have a special ed, then your special ed teacher probably called you to set up the learning pod. But our other virtual academy students, Miss Lucas has called them all. She has gauged your interest. Are you interested in learning pods? We've had over 90% of the virtual academy students interested in being part of a learning pod 1 day a week. So now we are grouping those students. We're assigning a teacher. We're going to be using churches, the McKinney Park. We'll be coming here at school after hours. We've got all these locations. It's just, I just am thrilled. If you're a regular in-person student, then your teachers have called to set up the learning communities. Those are going to meet during the day right here. We're taking full advantage of that 15% that the governor's allowing, and we're bringing students here. 2 hours with them is better than no hours with them, and so we're really excited to offer that service.
I'd like to say, wow, is that not different from what the spring was? Just different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We're working hard. The teachers and staff are working hard. I'm telling you, they are. It's just going to take us a while to get there, but we're working that direction.
I promise you, we haven't left here. It's been the earliest we've left here is 6:30 at night. Most nights it's later than that. We want to do well for your students. We really do. We want them to be successful, and we understand there's a lot of fear right now, a lot of questions, a lot of people don't want their students to fall behind, and they're worried about what we can deliver. And we understand that, and we feel that. We feel an enormous amount of responsibility. And so our teachers, our staff, our district, and it's not just at Lewisburg, I can say that for a district-wide, are working extremely, extremely hard right now to deliver the best service we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Ms. Lucas?
Yeah.
Ms. Lucas was taking a nap. It's been a long day. She laid down, but she woke back up. She's ready to go now.
Yes. I just closed
Some
my eyes
people
for a
might
second.
say, Miss Lucas, some people might say because you carry Dr. Matthews through
right.
every day.
That's right. She had to carry me all day, so she was tired. But she's back awake. She's ready to go.
I'm okay
here
now.
we go.
Got a second wind. This is also about IEPs. My son, along with others, are in an IEP program. He needs the one-on-one person time with the teacher to understand his lessons. Some parents work full-time and struggle to do this. Also, there are a lot of people that cannot afford internet for the virtual side of school. How will the school help these kids and parents through the tough and trying times? Thank you.
Well, there's a couple of things. One, our SPED teachers are committed to come doing home visits to deliver service, and they've already set up some home visits. They'll continue to set those up. We do have learning pods that will meet after work, so we've got some to where teachers will be staying to 6:30, so that the learning pod can start at 4 or 4:30 after parents get off work. And in the learning pod, the reason I go back to that is that is a lot of the one-on-one time. That simulates exactly what we would be doing in school, pulling small group. working with children one-on-one, while maybe 2 or 3 others are working on something. Then you give that child something to work on. You go work with these other 1 or 2. So that's exactly how we deliver it here in school. So we have that part of it. The internet is a tough question. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the internet issue is not there. It's the elephant in the room. We understand that. I think Mr. Mullins understands
Absolutely.
that. It's not as if we're trying to duck the internet question. There's a lot of issue with the internet. We've got the 100 hotspots where we're going to try to get the internet to you through that hotspot for the ones that qualify and request it. I can tell you that the local churches, some of them have even put money into making their hotspots stronger so that people can come and utilize those. And we're opening our school on Saturdays after school so that our school can be utilized for some of that. But there's not an easy answer. There's not. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think packet work is the answer either. We can't give the kind of support through packets. We can't go as deep through packets. So we're trying to figure it out. But that's a tough question. But we're committed to trying to overcome it and help the best we can.
Absolutely.
If I miss both, no, sorry, I already did that one. If hybrid students checked out a Chromebook, do they need to bring it back and forth between home and school once we start in person in September?
Well, no, we're asking you not to, and the reason is we're hopeful, and that's why I said if you really don't need it, please don't come get it, because we're hopeful that we have enough left here that for our students we can have enough here to go one-to-one for those hybrids A and B schedule. That's another great reason to have a hybrid schedule, to be honest with you, because we can kind of split our resources and be able to provide for all students. But we would ask that they not come back and forth. We're afraid of them getting damaged. And so we would really prefer them just to stay at home, and then we will have Chromebooks here for them to use.
My child is in kindergarten. How will attendance be checked each day?
Well, the governor gave us some freedom district-wide, really through the state, statewide, that where the attendance is checked through participation. So whether your child is virtual or in person on a hybrid model, we look at participation. So at the end of the week, did the child participate in Zoom? Did they get their lessons turned in? Were they available for their intervention? Were they on the phone for the check-in mentoring sessions? Any of those signal participation, and as long as a student is participating, they are counted they're counted present for that week.
One thing I'd add to that is some interpretations of that would say make sure your student does that on a daily basis. Make sure they're checking in, doing the Zoom, anything that's going on. Answer the phone when the teacher calls. Do your assignments on iReady or whatever sub platform you're using. Make sure they check in every day of the week.
And I want to, just to piggyback on that, something I told the teachers, and I hope they're conveying to the parents. If you'll get on the train with us and you'll help and you'll support us, and we're all pushing and going in the same direction, and that means helping them, if they can't get on Zoom, having them watch the taping of the Zoom, being there for the mentoring session, completing the work, asking questions, doing that, I promise you we will have your child prepared for the next step by the end of the year. I can't promise the same thing if we're not supporting one another, if we're not online every day and working towards this common goal, then it becomes hard. So, just to kind of piggyback on that, we really need you to be present and working on a daily basis.
I agree.
I was just wondering what all I need to do to get the information for her to start virtual learning.
You just need to contact Kelly Lewis. If you'll contact Kelly Lewis, she'll get you through the registration. If she is virtual and you've already been through the virtual learning, then we have open house tomorrow for all of our virtual learning students. 4:30 is for K4, and then I think 5:30 is middle school, or 5-8, and so we've got the virtual open house. We will be live streaming 30 minutes before the open house. So we will come with a live stream presentation at 4 o'clock for K4, and Ms. Cundiff will be talking to you about what virtual is and where to log on and all that. For our middle school, they'll be live streaming, or for our 5-8, they'll be live streaming at 5 o'clock to kind of go over that same information. But we will have the drive-through open house, and that'll start, as I said, K4 at 4:30, 5-8 at 5:30. So that's one way. Also, your virtual academy teachers will be in contact with you in order to get you logged in, make sure you're comfortable, know where to go, all that kind of stuff. So just be available for that phone call, and if you haven't heard from them, then send me an email, and I promise you'll hear from them. But they're doing a great job. We got to work through a lot of students, and I promise you we're going to get in contact. Do we have anything else?
Yes, when kids go.
We had something behind us, but I have no idea what it was.
Some kids hanging out.
Oh, okay. All right.
When kids go back and forth for hybrid, will they still be expected to do the online work as well?
All right. So can you ask that again?
When the kids go back for hybrid, will they still be expected to do the online work as well?
When they go back to hybrid, we'll be going into more of a hybrid model, which means that there will be work assigned online, yes. So if your child is Monday, Wednesday, there will be online work that they're expected to complete on Tuesday. Some of that might be videos, what we call a flipped classroom, where a teacher will post videos, maybe a lecture that will prepare them for the Wednesday class. So they come to class on Monday, I post a lecture video on Tuesday that prepares them for class on Wednesday. There'll also be some assignments and projects and different things assigned, but there'll be some online learning component. It won't be exactly what it is when we're extended out of school, but it is, there'll be a learning component to that when we go back hybrid online.
That helps for a continuous learning process, and it doesn't break up. So if you went to school Monday, Wednesday, you didn't do anything on Tuesday that related to what you were going to do on Wednesday, it makes school kind of jagged, and doing it the way you all plan allows students to have a good flow through the week.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it maximizes time. You know, you talked about the other day with the administration is maximizing the time we have, and you only got 2 days. You got to maximize that time. So some of the other little things have to be on the practice and some of the other stuff on those off days.
Absolutely.
Where can we get these packets?
Well, we don't have packets right now, if you're wanting a packet, I would encourage you to email me. We need to talk, and we will kind of go from there. Now I will say that preschool and kindergarten, I don't know what age the student is. So preschool and kindergarten, we are looking at doing a little more packets because for that age, it's a little more appropriate, okay? But I will say kindergarten has a great, fantastic digital learning plan. They got their Bitmoji classroom. If you live stream today, you saw it. It's fantastic. They've got choice boards where students can choose things that they're doing. So it's pretty cool. But we're gonna certainly preschool and kindergarten, we may have a few more packet things. what we will do is once we're ready to go down that road and we're ready to hand that out, we'll make an announcement. And basically what we'll do is Friday afternoons, we'll be giving those packets out, and then they'll be due. We'll have drop boxes where you can drop them at over the weekend, but they'll be due by that next Monday, and then we'll continue that cycle.
And I know it goes back to the elephant in the room with internet connection.
That's right.
I know our folks work really hard to make sure that you have the absolute best education we can possibly provide you. It is more challenging with packets because it's harder to deliver new instruction through a packet format. I do understand that's for some folks, that's what we're going to have to do, and they're going to have to do. I would encourage you all to make use of Saturdays if possible, if that's possible, as well as finding a way to communicate with the teacher to get some support, because it's a big challenge for parents, and we want to be there to help you.
Yeah, it really is, and that's the one thing. And I was talking to a parent, and we know that some of them we're going to have to do, but there's going to have to be a lot of support at home, because we have to do new learning this year. It can't be like last year where we don't have that new learning component. We have to meet those standards, and so that parent is really going to have to support the new learning mechanism, because we won't have any way to do that.
I don't have any more questions right now.
All right, so I think we're at a point that we'll kind of wrap it up, and but before we do, I know you had some closing thoughts and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna turn it over to you and let you throw us some closing thoughts.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. What I'd like to say to everybody is I think we had a really good first day. Like I said earlier, there were hiccups. There's going to be, right? So, but we want to continue to work with you all and work together. Whether it be transportation, David Ward and his staff have done an outstanding job, or food service, they've done an outstanding job, or all of our classified staff, our maintenance, everybody's working together with our certified staff and our district team to bring the school year together and get started. Man, we're in new territory. We're pioneers. One of our principals talk about us being pioneers. We are truly pioneers in this. And I'll tell you this, pioneers survive when they travel together and they work together and they fed off each other, the positivity. They survived each other working together. So what I would leave you all with tonight from my perspective is we understand we're not going to be perfect at what we're doing. When we stumble and fall, please stick your hand out and help us up. And when you stumble and fall, we're going to reach our hand out to help you up. Together, we can make this the best school year ever, the most unique school year ever. But I promise you, if we're not all rowing in the same direction, we're not all trying to be on the same team, it's going to be a struggle. Be honest with us, be transparent with us. We'll do the same with you. Don't be ever afraid to vent to any of our school leaders via email. But I'm going to discourage you from doing it on social media, because we're so busy we don't have time to really take a look at that. We may post things, but we don't necessarily get our information from there. And what we want to do is to reach you. We want to solve your problems, help you with your concerns, and we can only do that with a two-way communication. And my commitment is I know our principals and our staffs are ready to do that for each and every one of you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I know that it's really busy, and for you to make that commitment, we really appreciate it.
It's always great to be in Lewisburg, and it was great to do this. Thank you. And you know, the man behind the camera, Darren Waldo, is knocking it out of the park.
Hey, he is. I always give a shout out to the producer, Darren Waldo. He's also the one that produced all the videos, the welcome back videos, the kind of how we're doing car rider line videos, all those district videos throughout the entire district. He produced all of those.
That's right.
and did it in a very short amount of time. So he worked really, really hard and did a fantastic job.
You know, that just shows that Mr. Waldo has that type of commitment, like all our other teachers do across the county. Commitment to spend extra time to make this experience better for our kids. Thank you, Mr. Waldo, and thank you to all our staff across the county.
Absolutely, and thank you to my Ed McMahon, Miss Christy Lucas over there, who's behind the cameras reading the questions. thank all of you. We hope to continue to do this. We love the communication. Send us questions. We'll be glad to come back online, and we appreciate everybody being here. Stay safe, and thank you.
Thank you.